killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
I'm still chewing.
I am so sick of working with non-professionals. This is ridiculous.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Stacy, here we are.
How are you?
I am
Yay!
doing so good, but do you know the one thing I can't do?
What?
I can't drive 55.
55.
Wow. We are doing a 55th 5 episode. I mean, it's
going to be a perfect 10.
It's a perfect 10. That's true. This show will be the Bo Derek of shows.
Yes.
And now for any of you younger viewers who are watching, who don't know who that is, Google the movie 10. And for our seniors who don't remember Bo Derek, Google the movie 10. And you'll see Dudley Moore become the luckiest guy in the 70s. We heard from our
Derek. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Stacy, what's been happening with him?
So Derek Wayne Johnson, did King of the Underdogs and
edited
about
Stallone, Frank, that is
right.
Edited the Rocky IV documentary, a making of the re-edit. Yep.
And so he got a mention in Ralph Macchio's book, Waxing On. And so
nice.
I was like, yay, good for you. And Derek Wayne Johnson's done a lot. It's amazing what he's done, but I said to him in my comment, I'm like, just the slightest nod is such, is such a big piece of validation. And I just posted about it.
When Derek, I'm so glad you put that up there, because when Derek was a kid and he watched The Karate Kid and he fell in love with this movie and it inspired him to better himself, never in his wildest imaginations did he think he would become friends or acquaintances and being mentioned in a book by the Karate Kid or becoming friends with Sylvester Stallone. This is how you know you just do what it is that you do, and then you end up somewhere where you never thought you would be. And it's that perseverance. That's the thing I love about Derek. It's perseverance, and Derek will be the first to tell you not every single thing is a home run, and people don't always handle rejection well or failure well, but that is when you learn, and that's one of the things why I love Derek. So kudos to you, my friend.
That was so good. And then same with Robert Bruzio,
another guy. Yes.
And that picture that we posted here, he's like, doing some weightlifting, and what do you see on the wall? He's what, 9, 10 in that picture. And then you see Rocky on the wall in the background. And then he got a chance to meet Sly, and, he directed Bottom of the Ninth. And, you have these dreams that are so quiet and you almost feel silly about them, but you have to stick to it because now he got to meet one of his favorite stars of all time. I loved that.
That's the thing. He was one of the few people that actually was in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone for 30 seconds.
That's right. Yes.
That's right. And that's the thing. Robert is another beautiful example of perseverance, sticking to what it is that is your passion, that motivates you, that says, this is why I get up. It isn't about money. Money, we need the money to pay the bills and eat and buy our gifts and homes and all that, obviously.
Right.
But money, and maybe I'm just putting this out there on myself or whatever, but money doesn't get a lot of us out of bed. That's not the motivating factor.
That's true.
The factor is, what is your purpose? Do you have a purpose? And I would advise anyone, if you don't get a purpose, that's the deal. Take your passion and see if you can turn it into a purpose for other people. It's amazing when you can do that. And it's just not easy.
Right.
It's definitely not easy.
Well, nothing's going to fill you on the inside. Money's never going to fill you on the inside. You have to have a mission or some sort of purpose. And I personally think it's, the way we serve each other and take care of each other. There's nothing more fulfilling than knowing that something you did impacted someone else's life or made someone else's life better.
Well, exactly. And these are all these huge life lessons, these philosophies we've all extracted from Rocky over the decades. All of us. And the thing that I talk about a lot on tours is today's generation, and this is not a knock on today's generation, but today's generation gets to see Rocky either on streaming or DVD back to back. Within a day, you can watch all the Rockies. Okay. As kids growing up in the 70s and 80s, every 3 years there was a Rocky. So as we grew and evolved, we were kind of growing with the character.
With it, yes.
And there was such a laser focus on Rocky back then because you only had the one movie to carry you for 3 years.
Right? That's so
you had
true.
another, and you didn't have the internet. You didn't have Instagram where Sly could interact with his followers and so on. There was nothing. You had Entertainment Tonight.
Right.
Tonight on the set of Cliffhanger, on the set of Cobra, we interview Sylvester Stallone and what it's like to be working with your wife, Bridget Nielsen. You know, things of this nature.
Yeah.
And that's all we had, little glimpses. And speaking of Robert Bruzio, he kind of figures into my little story here, him and several other people.
Oh, good.
So today's guest we have, his name is Steve Casella, and we're gonna get to Steve in just a little bit. But Steve runs a Rocky Balboa fan group on a collector's fan group on Facebook, and it's nothing short of brilliant. It really is a great tribute to all the fans that have developed their time, energy, and money into collecting some of the greatest Rocky memorabilia in the world. And you've got people who make memorabilia. Like there's a guy on his site that made a miniature replica of Mickey's gym, like to the smallest detail. Another guy, somebody else made a Rocky IV cabin. Okay, that Rocky comes down in the Russian limo. I mean, it's incredible what these fans do. Steve himself, I'm jealous of one of the things that he has. I'm very jealous of it. He's got the Rocky pinball machine.
He sure does.
And that is something I am very envious of that. And those are not good emotions to have. So I'm going to find where he lives and I'm going to duct tape him with some ether and take it. I knew Steve for quite a while, and I don't post often on the thing. I look at it daily, but I don't post that often because I don't think those are the big dogs on his page.
Right.
I don't think my collection is worthy of that notoriety, of that acknowledgement. And a lot of people tell me I'm wrong about this. A lot of people tell me I'm wrong. But I'll tell you what happened. Over the last year, I had some people come to the house. One person was my friend Charlie. He's from the UK, lives here. He's the guy that gave me that prop from Rocky Balboa.
Right.
His son Connor and his friend Paul, I believe. And we had the longest conversation down here in the room. And then, as you all know, my good friends, Robert Bruzio and John Rivoli, they were here. They stayed overnight. And I watched them move around my room. Okay. I watched them and I said, wow, they are like really impressed. And it's not the fake, like when your friends have a baby and the baby is ugly as sin. So you don't know what to say. You go,
oh, so cute.
It's my phone. I got to go. I'm sorry. My apartment's flooding and on fire at the same time. I don't know how it's possible. I got to get out of here. That wasn't the look on their faces. Their looks on their faces is like mine when I walked into the set of Adrian's for Rocky Balboa at the Victor Cafe. It was awe.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like the oxygen left my body. And it was that type of an effect. And Sue pulled me off to the side and she goes, look at this, pay attention, watch them. They were touching. We had a Rocky fashion show. Three of us put on.
Yes,
we were strutting the catwalk here, doing all types of videos that Sue has that she has. I won't let her release. John Rivoli was in high heels wearing the Dempsey outfit. It was crazy. He had my Dempsey blazer on with the Dempsey shirt with the burgundy blazer. It was crazy. Robert was dancing around with the Rocky robe on, imitating. We were changing hats and coats and shirts.
I love it.
It was fun. It was crazy. I mean, it was like the Met Gala here in the Kunda basement. All right. So for very sad people, no, I'm teasing.
We all get it. Everyone watching gets it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I probably have said this here. I've said it a dozen times on social media. My room is why I consider it not that phenomenal is because as I look around at the pictures, they're little 4x6s, 8x10s of private moments in my life where you would look at this picture and say, oh, like over there's a picture of me and Sue at a Planet Hollywood booth, but there's a story there. There's me with a picture of Ryan Coogler. There's a picture with my grandfather and me on the wall right after he gave me the Rocky hat. There's pictures like that. They're very private moments. Me with my friends at the Victor Cafe, or my friend Rhea, or me just standing off to the side, dressed in a Rocky costume. Yes, there are. Then I've got the Rivoli art. I've got some of my own art, some of my collection behind me over on the other side of the room. So there are some cool things here. But if people came here and they looked around, I don't think they would be as impressed as some of the people Steve will tell us about and their collections. Now, granted, my collection has taken me 45 years to build very slowly, because my options were limited in the 70s and 80s, even into the 90s. They were limited.
Right. Exactly.
Only recently have I seen people who make a lot of money. They buy all this stuff from either the Stallone shop and they get Sly to sign it or whatever. And I think that's wonderful. And now with the Heritage auction and with Julian's auctions and so on, that was never there before. I wouldn't have had the money back then. I don't have the money now. I'm trying to make double payments on my car and my mortgage so I can get that paid off sooner. I would love to have that stuff, but I got priorities. And so that to me is a massive collection. I just, that's why I think my collection is not really as noteworthy as theirs, but it's nonetheless inspiring, because all of this is like a trophy for me. All of this is like a trophy. And of course, the last thing I'll say is I have about 100 conversations between Sly and I in frames around the room, mostly about Rocky, but different thoughts on different subjects. And I'm an incredibly insecure individual. And when those insecurities hit me like boulders coming down a mountain, I'm like, okay, let me just sit here and let me take the vibe. Listen, could you answer the phone? That's okay. We're not doing anything important here.
I'm so sorry. Look, I have an excuse. That's actually the alarm to go give my dad his medications.
Well, we better take a pause right here. We don't want anybody dropping on us. So you go do your thing, and I'll sit here and just whistle.
I went early. No, you know what I want to say though about your collection? It's unique to you, your life, your journey, and your legacy with what Rocky's meant to you, and everything you have in there is one of a kind.
It is. I'll agree. I'll agree. It most of the things that if it's not one of a kind, it's very difficult to get. Like right over my left shoulder, right here.
Yeah.
This bronze Rocky IV when he's holding the flag up, in Russia. That is one of the rarest. That's from the Franklin Mint. That's from 1986 when that came out. They only made a limited edition of those. You can't find them anywhere. Right. If you have one of those, that is a rare thing to have. Anyways, it means a lot to me because it was at a time when I never could have imagined to have the connection to Sly that I have now, or the career.
Right. Well, we do have our guest here, Mr. Steve Casella. As you said, he is the creator of Rocky Balboa Collectors on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he's got a great story from being a very young man and to everything he's been going through in the past 8 years. So Steve, we're going to bring you in here. You can show off some of your stuff to us. Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Look at him.
My
Hello,
brother.
I know, my friend. You're looking more handsome than ever. What are you doing?
I'm trying to keep up with you.
Look at me. I have a tarantula sitting right here on my head. I don't know what that is.
And it looks like I saw a ghost. Look at the white. I don't think I've ever been on TV or anything. I don't even think I have videotapes when I was younger.
Really?
Really. I don't like seeing myself. What can I tell you?
Aww.
Well, listen, I consider you a very handsome human being. And let's dive into, here's what I'm thinking. Hey, Spider Rico can hit. What is standing in back of you, my friend?
That's what Mila was wearing. And
nice.
That is it. I mean,
that's
not a replica. That's not anything. That is the one.
Right. That's the one.
This is the result of freak luck. Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
You know, I started collecting Rocky stuff in 1979 when I was 9 years old, and my dad took me to Meadowbrook Cinema in Warwick, and I saw Rocky 2. Okay. And I had never, ever been exposed to Rocky before that because I was all about Star Wars. Yeah,
me too. I love Star Wars. Yes.
Yeah, I was all about Star Wars. So for me, it was like, wait a minute, this isn't R2D2 and there's no spaceships and nothing. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, all right, Dad. And I got to tell you, that whole movie, I was captivated. And after I got out of that movie, and I remember like I'm riding my bike and I'm getting really tired, and I'm like, oh, but Rocky would pull this off. And I started pumping harder.
Exactly.
It started like that. And
I got you.
I would anything Rocky I could find. But trying to find anything to collect then from Rocky, it didn't exist. Nope, it did not exist.
Sly had everything in a vault that he wasn't letting go of. It still had great memories for him. So those auctions didn't happen. It's just impossible. Back in the day, I remember there was like a letter that maybe Sly would have signed off on to have like a cigarette ad in, say, Driven. Okay. Back in 2000. That was when we started to see some types of not props per se, or if Sly wrote a note. There used to be the Sylvester Stallone fan club back in the day, and I don't know if it was a stamp. I don't know if it was his signature. It looked like his signature, but that's the thing, that was about all you had, and then people would put it out there. And to me, today, living now, this is the greatest age if you're a Rocky collector, because there is so much available out there, right?
Well, it's a great time to be a Rocky collector, and it's a cursed time to be a Rocky collector because you can't have it all. So my collection was built up over those years of little teeny tiny things. And in 2006, when Balboa came out, that's when the floodgates really started to open. You started seeing companies like HCG, Hollywood Collectibles Group, and they made the replica belt, and they made this, and they made that.
Right.
And then the Jax company started that whole line of Rocky figures.
Right.
And when I tell you I had them all, I'm talking about they did a belt, they did boxing rings, they did a collector's boxing ring, they made an Apollo Creed that they only made 100 of. Okay.
Oh, neat.
And I had every one of them. And then when they had them, you had the chance to buy Apollo Creed with the hat from the original Rocky. Yes. And now they only made 100 of those.
Steve, listen, I want to come back to the collecting. And then we're going to move on to the Facebook site and some of the other collection. We're going to get to that. But what was it about Rocky that inspired you, that applied to you? How has Rocky helped you in life? That's something I'd like to hear.
Oh, absolutely. How do I put this without sounding like a lunatic? Mike, Mike, honestly, you're the only one that's going to relate to some of this, but I'm going to do my best, okay?
Okay.
Listen, it was a bond with me and my father. Okay?
Oh, sure.
I loved my father to death. I'm an only child, okay? And him and I have certain things that were ours, okay? And I'm going to break it down to three things.
Okay.
The Boston Red Sox, the New England Patriots, and Rocky Balboa.
Oh.
That was ours. And, after he took me to see the Rocky 2, every Rocky movie after that, we were there day one. No matter what, we were there day one. Rocky 3, I can tell you the cinema I saw it in. I can tell you where the poster was. I remember every little detail of that. Then Rocky 4, we went to the midnight showing. I was actually dating at that point. My father took me and the girl I was dating to Rocky 4. And I got to tell you, that I'll never forget that experience because it was in the biggest theater on opening night. And it was a late show. And I'm telling you, when the crowd was screaming and yelling and this, that, and the other, I was on the edge of my seat. I was jumping up. My father and the girl I'm dating are like, I was like, it was just something we did. It was our tradition.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to say he passed in 1992. And I was only 21. And I had no idea. Neither did he. It was a Friday. And he said, I'm going to the hospital because I feel a little bit off.
Right.
Okay. Turns out because he was a diabetic, he got pancreatitis, and over the course of Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, he just deteriorated so bad, and then he passed that Monday.
Wow.
Now I was in college. Okay, I only had a month left till I got my bachelor's degree, and my father was always, I'm going to see my son graduate. I'm going to see my son. So the whole graduation to me was ruined. And I went up, I got the degree, I went home. My mother made it a point to throw a party. I was just miserable. I was, I don't like this, but I want to say that took Rocky to the, not only was it my inspiration to get through college and to all the other things that everybody else did and seemed to do it pretty easily, and yet for me it was always a struggle. Because I am not the smartest guy in the world, and you know what, I don't, certain things my brain, it just doesn't get. But I did it. I actually I got through, I graduated, and if my father was there, I'd be bragging about it. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Do you think your father would have liked Rocky Balboa?
I find out that some church organization has a
I remember this.
Yeah, a Rocky something kit.
It was
right?
It was the faith kit.
And if you got the kit, it came with a ticket good for 2 people for the first screening of Rocky Balboa the day before it came out.
Right.
The movie gets introduced, and it's a little different opening than all the other ones. It wasn't the previous Rocky. It wasn't, it was like, or maybe it was, but, they were shooting the shot across Philly, and they were playing the music and all that stuff. It just, it felt a little uncomfortable. Like it's Rocky, but it's a little different. But I tell you, as that movie went on and on and on, I got so emotional.
Oh, me too.
I went home, and I'll never forget this. I went home, and I called Joe, who's like my brother, and I had a complete mental breakdown.
Wow.
About how good this movie was, and the fact my father wasn't with me to see it. And it just all came to a head when I got home. Listen, that movie to me, oh my God, that thing is close to my life. When I was at the darkest point of my life, I had a DVD player connected to a television on the bureau at the end of my bed. And as motivation to get out of bed when I was so down, I would play the speech between him and Robert. Okay? Every single morning to get out of bed.
I agree.
And that's, so when you say, like, what does Rocky mean to you and what has it been in your life? Well, Rocky's not a movie anymore to me. Rocky's family.
Yeah.
And now when I put in Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, whatever, Rocky 1, whatever one I put in.
Yeah.
It's like mentally I am transported back to the time when my family was alive.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the way it hits me. So, Rocky is family to me.
Yeah.
Because when I watch it, I just feel like I'm back in the days when I had my father and my mother, and we lived in our house,
Yeah.
So for me, Rocky's family.
When was it that you said to yourself, the world needs a Rocky collector site on Facebook? What was that decision? Can you sharpen that in? Tell me the fine points of that.
That is a very short and simple story.
Yeah.
There's no group I like. There's no group that does the way I would do it.
Right.
And I said, well, the expression "blank or get off the pot." I said, all right, so if you can't find one you like, then make it.
You make it.
So I learned how to work. I learned how to create a group. I learned how to do it, and it's me, baby stepping, and I created it, and I had nobody on it except me.
Right.
Nobody.
But it didn't take long to grow because it grew. People heard about it and they started joining and putting up their pictures and videos. Let me ask you this. What are some of your favorite collector items that you don't have that people have brought to the podcast or to your site? What are some of your favorites?
Listen, some of those, and I'm not going to name names, okay, because out of respect, but there were certain people that had certain collections that made me want to make mine better.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
That's how inspirational it was because, I had all those Jack's Rocky figures. I had them all. Yeah. And I literally had a wall, top to bottom, with those figures. And then they went around the border of the room. And, I had every shelf and every space I could use. And then I saw these rooms where these people had Rocky things like nicely framed and and it wasn't just one thing, it was a room, and it was like, and then I start seeing costumes on mannequins, just like and I'm like wow, look at that. I mean, that's a level I never thought of. That's a level that inspired me to do better. So I've been inspired by select individuals' collections. Okay, let's just say 5. Okay, 5 people's collection really touched me and inspired me that I had to see what I could do to take it to that level where I was like, wow. People would see my stuff and go, wow. But when I saw their stuff, I went, wow.
Yeah. So they really inspired you. Now, let me ask you this. I have a technical question for you. Something that aggravates the hell out of me. You see above your shoulder, your head, you have the belt. And to me, you have the proper belt.
Correct.
Okay. I absolutely get a red rash that leaves me raw when people put in the fakakta pictures of Drago and Apollo and Rocky and Clubber Lang. It angers me. I want to reach it and I want to smash it and burn it. I hate when they do that. Why, my friend? Why do people ruin it with that?
Because they're playing the popularity. The ASI belt actually says Rocky Balboa on the center plate, as opposed to World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, that's the stuff that aggravates me. The detail for perfection. That's not frustrates me an awful lot. Yeah. And as great as that is, you actually just made me see things a little differently. They're playing to what people think they want. So I get it. They think they want Rocky on there, but that's not movie accurate. Another thing I want to talk about, Sly Stallone shop. What an amazing candy store for fans. If we had this in the 80s, I can't think of how many Rocky fans would have never made it to college. They would have blown their college. Yeah, right? Exactly. I mean, Sly is absolutely brilliant for doing this. And the thing that is amazing to me is the thousands of people I take on tours every year, 90% of them have never even heard of the Sly Stallone shop. And when I tell them about it and I say, where you got to go to the Sly Stallone shop, and they're like, what, really? And I go, yes, absolutely. It's amazing what they have there. I mean, the fedora, the Thunderlips cape, the tiger jacket, not to mention they're coming out with the Aztec Thunderbird sweater soon. I mean, it's just amazing what they have. I mean, this is amazing. Is it not?
It's mind blowing.
I mean, now they got the figures. I know Rivoli has been really working hard, making sure those figures are getting more and more and more accurate, which they are, which is really good. Because that's another problem I have with collecting. These people will pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for these statues. And I haven't, there's only one, it's the Blitzway. It's the only one I saw that was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The others, I don't know. The faces look like crap to me. They really look like crap. The second one I think looks the best is, and I always say his name wrong, Adio Mahoya. You have his statue.
You know what?
With the belt over the head in Rocky 2.
Yes. Oh God!
You know what's funny? Ediao or something.
I can never pronounce it or spell it. And I have to look it up every single time.
Me too.
But I do talk to him all the time.
His Rocky 2 belt, Yo Adrian, I did it, is so fantastic. Those are the only two I would allow in my collection. Just the others, everybody's got the body to one degree or another. Bodies are very, very easy to do. If you've got a decent eye, you can do it. But I don't know what happens to the face.
Yeah.
But a lot of people screw up the face.
Yeah,
I don't know. And for me to put out $1,200 on a figure that the face sucks, I don't know. I like I said, I got better things to do with my money than that. But again, some people love that. Some people get it. It's the different passions that all these collectors have. And that's the thing that I do love. I do. Now, Steve, is there one item you would love to have in your collection you don't have? Whether it's a replica, an actual thing from the movie, or a statue that someone has created?
No.
Gotcha.
No.
You're good.
You know what, Mike? And I'm just going to tell you this, pal. You know what? We're only able to have so many things, right?
Right.
You have a massive room, and I think your stuff looks amazing. And God, someday I'm going to walk through that room, and I will take everything. I will sit on that bench you got from the Victor Cafe. I mean, I will suck everything I see in, like, I've seen the second coming of the Lord. Okay? But I got to a point, okay, where I was like, all right, well, can't keep shelling out all this money. You don't have the room, you don't have this, you don't have that. And I got to the point, Mike, where the last thing that I wanted, because I wanted it, was the book.
Yeah.
Okay. And the book was $1,000. Now it's $2,000.
Yeah, okay. I know.
And I always said to myself, I gotta get if nothing else, I gotta get the book. I gotta get the book. And I know the autograph is in it, so I know that. And whatever, I'm not buying it for the autograph. I'm buying it because there's stuff in there that, from what I understand, because I won't spoil it, I've seen one picture of Paulie with the pinball machine, of all things, out on the street. Now, that picture I have seen.
Yeah.
Now, that never happened in the movie. So, of course, that one picture.
Deleted scene.
I hear there's 400 in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait. But you know what? It's such a special moment. I haven't even opened it yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, they give it white gloves. They give you white gloves with it. It's amazing. It's in this gorgeous yellow box. I mean, it is the Bible in the Rocky world. It is. Yeah. There is everything. See, and here's the whole thing. MGM could have done this. These pictures were just sitting in the vault, just sitting. And Sly went and got him and worked the deal with Tajin because MGM didn't want to do it. They just let it sit there. Do you know how much is sitting in the vaults? All the deleted scenes, with the exception of the original Rocky, because we know that's gone. Rocky 2, all the way through to the two spinoffs from the Rocky series. All this deleted footage is just there, and the new 4K is coming out. No deleted footage.
Really?
Did not put any of it on there.
Oh.
It's crazy. I know, it aggravates me. Why? They don't feel it's a value. Are you kidding me? This is just MGM just not putting it out there. I don't know why they would do that. Why not compile the Ultimate Rocky set, okay? Put just the Rockies. You don't have to add anything else to it, just the Rockies. Yeah. And put in all the deleted scenes. There's interviews. I remember in 1979 on television, there was a show called Rocky's People. It was on CBS. Oh. It was an hour special behind the scenes of Rocky 2. It opens up with them in the church filming them and Adrian falling over and Burt Young catches her. There's a interview where Stallone is walking in one of the canyons in Hollywood with Butkus. There's this great talks. They're on set of when they're at the set of the Rocky 2 house, not in Philly, but so there's so much. There's the making of Rocky 3 with the interview with Hulk Hogan and the training on the beach and all this. There's so many things out there.
Right.
Fans, if they're going to sell the new set for like $200, I would. Why not sell it for $500 or $600? If you're adding all those extras in there, I'm shelling out that money for it. Absolutely.
Right.
I don't know. It's aggravating. It's aggravating.
You put the disc in, and you're right, Rocky. Yeah, you've got some stuff, but not as much as we've seen. I mean, the documentaries on Netflix and how they were filming Rocky and all. Mike, I know you've seen them all, and as far as I know, I've seen them all. None of that's on there.
None.
No. And in fact, a lot of people don't even realize the original ending to Rocky was that movie poster with him and Adrian holding hands.
I know.
And that's not the ending in the movie, but that was the original plan, was they were walking out holding hands.
How about Stallone on Johnny Carson promoting Rocky 2? How about when he comes out with Mr. T on the Merv Griffin show and Burgess Meredith and Apollo Creed are all sitting there and Stallone and they're all talking about Rocky 3? Or when Stallone comes out on Johnny Carson for Rocky 4? Get those clips. Pay what you have you got all the money in the world. I'm hoping Amazon listens to this podcast. I hope Bezos is on his $3 billion yacht and he goes, oh, what's new on YouTube? Oh, the Rocky Files, episode 55. Who the hell is this Steve fella? Let's watch. And they'll get this and put this stuff out there. But it's good business. Stacy, am I wrong or what?
Well, it's guaranteed moneymaker. You haven't Generation X is alive and well. It has a lot of green money. So.
Built-in money. We love our movie memorabilia. Why not?
It's all about that. I just it's all about the mighty dollar, and it's a no-brainer. People would buy it, and they'd make a mint, and everybody would be happy. I don't understand it, Steve. I just wanted to show a few things. We have our most famous question, but I wanted to show off some of the pictures that I found. And this is, I love this picture here. Look at that. It shows off everything that you have. This is quite a wall in the pinball machine right there. And
I love that.
Two very awesome moments with Dolph Lundgren and with
Drago.
There you go, Carl.
He's always with the friggin' scarf indoors. What is with the scarf? I love Carl, but what is with the scarf, man?
He looks nice. And this I love.
Listen, that guy is a hell of a presence. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mike, you're always about the special. The thing with the Carl Weathers, right? The first time I went, I never stepped foot in the Comic-Con, never. But him and Dolph Lundgren were coming to the Rhode Island Convention Center in 2015.
Right.
And not knowing anything about Comic-Con or any other stuff, I was like, okay, whatever that is, I have to be there. I have to.
Right.
Gotta be there. There's rooms, huge rooms full of Star Wars and 8,000 Marvel people and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Be like, all I want to know, where's Carl? Where's Carl?
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I want to know. And I eventually stumbled. It turns out they were in two buildings, and I stumbled my way to the second building where Carl is. Okay, and here's me, Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy, I'm sorry. This is me. Okay, I am laser focused on Carl Weathers. Right.
Right.
So I walk into this room, and there's celebrities from left to right, all the way down this wall.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about big, massive lines and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, this is, So I'm looking, and the first line and all I see is Gene Simmons, Kiss, right? And it's massive, massive, massive. And I'm going, okay, well, Carl Weathers must be double this, but in my mind.
Right.
So I looked at this guy and I said, listen, Carl Weathers is here, right? And he goes, oh, yeah. And I said, where is he? Now, I just happened to hit the right time. He goes, oh, he's right there. And there was a line before Gene Simmons. And I'm like, what do you mean he's I look. And at that moment, his line was empty. And I'm looking at Apollo Creed. I'm like, it's almost like seeing the burning bush. I got to tell you, all I ever heard was how miserable and horrible he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was completely and utterly false. Okay? This man, because of the timing, I got to talk to him for 10 to 12 minutes.
Nice.
Me and Carl Weathers walking back and forth about Rocky. When I tell you, it was like, I know this is going to end faster than I wanted to end, but you know, I asked this. I said to him, I said, look, I said, you know, Rocky IV. I said, that movie to me almost, I wish it didn't exist because of what happened to you.
Right.
You know, you kind of went out because all, you know, Rocky 3, you were all accepting the fact that, you know, you're out of the spotlight, but you got back into it, Rocky, and now all of a sudden you got to get back into it and fight this guy, and then you got taken out. In my opinion, like, you were nothing. You know, like the fight's over in a round and a half, and he's down, and it's all over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a great champion with all and that. I get the point of it is to trying to show the impact of how strong Drago is, but I said to him, I said, listen, when they killed Apollo in Rocky IV, I said, literally killed me. And he goes, yeah, man, killed me too.
Oh.
And I'm like, so anyway, you know, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm having a chat. It's going really well. I'm keep looking behind me to make sure nobody's waiting. Like I'm not bothering anybody, right?
Right.
And finally somebody comes up and I said, Mr. Carl, thank you so much. I can't even put into words what this means to me.
Sure.
But I signed up for the photo op too. And because I'm like, again, where am I going to see Carl? So you then they have them at a specific time. You go to a different area and you wait in line for when he starts doing the pictures. And here's the thing, okay? That line for him was beyond believable. Like how long it was.
Oh.
It was huge. It's what I expected on the inside, but here, there it was. So anyway, he must have gone through over 100 people, right?
Right.
So you don't see him. You don't see anything going on. They bring you behind a curtain. Okay, that's what Carl is. That's where the cameras are. That's where all the gear is.
Yeah.
And I finally get my chance, and I go into the room, and this Carl Weathers standing about 15 feet away from me. And what does he do? He goes, there's my buddy, yay! And I'm like, Carl Weathers. Just remembered me and said, there's my buddy.
That he did.
I took away from that experience, like, unless I see Stallone once in my life, which has never happened,
right?
I've never even come close. I don't think anything's ever going to top this. I don't. I mean, you know, the fact he said, there's my buddy.
Isn't that a nice thing?
Oh my God. Right. And here I am reading online. He's miserable, it's horrible, he's this, he's that. You know what though? Maybe somebody got him at the wrong moment. Maybe somebody said the wrong thing. Maybe somebody upset him, like Stallone. Maybe he's celebrating his daughter's birthday in a private event in a restaurant, and somebody feels that they can just walk up to him and interrupt that. And he's like, you know, instead of the 100 times of being polite, saying, look, I'm with my family, it's my daughter's birthday, and taken away from the moment he's living. You know, eventually he's going to get to the point, he's like,
enough.
No,
exactly.
enough. This is me and my family time, okay?
Yeah.
I'll put Rocky and every other character for you on when I'm on the street and whatever. You have to pump into me and I'm already talking to other people. But they have a life too. And they have moments. And, you know, daughter's going to get married eventually. That's going to be an event that, you know, that's about them.
Now, listen, Steve, before we let you go, before we get you out of here, I know you got dinner with the mayor coming up very shortly. Stacy, do you have anything that we missed that you wanted to cover before we let Steve get out of here?
Thank you for coming, Steve. You were just lovely, and your collection is mighty impressive. And it's
before you let me go.
Yeah.
Would you guys like a fast tour?
Have at it, my friend.
Okay, because you know what? Nobody's ever seen a video of this. Okay.
Oh, neat.
So
you got to get it out there.
This is a real exclusive, the Rocky Mountain podcast world premiere exclusive.
Beautiful.
Okay, Mike? It's like
beautiful.
You just dug out the hidden footage about Rocky and Adrian at the end of the original Rocky.
I love it.
So
bring it on.
This will be the world premiere. Okay.
Right.
When you walk into my Rocky museum, that's what people chose to call this, not me. My Rocky museum. You're gonna see me sitting in a chair, and this is my view. This is where I am.
Okay.
Wasn't intentional. Okay. It's like I got two guards and a banner above me. Okay.
Nice.
And honestly, I never looked at it like that, but that's the way it came out. Okay.
Right.
So when you see me on those groups and all that stuff, that's where I'm sitting.
Gotcha.
And okay, now again, I can't see, so please tell me if this works. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this. Okay.
Nice.
Is the outfit that Sly wore in Creed 2.
Wow.
Sure is.
The actual item. And there it is.
Nice.
There you go.
The hat is not the same hat. I bought that, okay, because I wanted to put a hat on them. It didn't come with that. And I don't think the shoes are original. But the shirt, the T-shirt, the pants, all that is that stuff you're looking at.
Nice.
Had a banner made, okay? And over here, we got some Rocky statues. Can you see them?
I sure can.
Looks good.
Yep. You got some Rocky. Am I look image? Yeah, I know, but from a distance, they're not bad. And that's Mickey. That's a commercial where Lipton.
Yeah.
Who keeps ringing that bell?
Right. Which is a great commercial because Stallone actually voiced it.
Oh,
now
yeah.
this to me is really special. This glove was production used in Rocky Balboa. Okay. So, and it's signed by Antonio Tarver and Sly.
Nice. Oh, wow. Nice.
And I've got the certificate and I put it up on a case on the wall. And in my eyes, it's like, okay, so I could literally be watching Rocky Balboa and it may or may not be in that fight. I don't know.
Nice.
But it was production used. And up here, that little piece of blue fabric. Oh, and there's my Jax figure.
There you go.
Like we were talking about, right? That's the only one I got left. But that piece of fabric was actually the ring of Rocky Balboa cut up.
Right.
And put onto those, and they made that.
Nice.
Piece of movie history to me. I had to have it. Then you got those fight passes up there were given to me by a friend of mine, and those are from the movie Creed.
Beautiful.
Okay. And now I'm just gonna back up and I'm gonna pan. Okay.
Hey, you think this Sly Stallone shop's gonna get back to carrying the yellow gloves?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I hope so.
In this picture, I've got the autographed shorts, which I went way overboard on the frame, but it looks good.
It's awesome. Looks great.
Me and Carl, me and Dolph, the glove. Actually, this picture is signed by Dolph. That picture is signed by Carl Weathers.
Excellent.
I got lucky. I got the jacket,
Nice.
autographed replica, right?
Well
But
done.
the framing, I designed that head to toe, and these unbelievable guys at a place called 707 Gallery.
Nice.
We put this, the three of us, they would actually make this happen as I described it to them. And the three of us had a conversation about changes.
Right.
Like those lines. Like, it's like, you got them connected. Let's break them.
Right.
Little tiny details that you wouldn't think of. These guys were all over it.
Oh,
And by the way, Mike, I still say to this day, that's the Mike Kunda Rocky.
Nice.
I don't care what anyone says. When you go to that face, I think Mike Kunda and not Sly.
I'm about the same size, so that's right. That's about right.
Oh, by the way, Rocky 5,
nice.
the Ohio Lottery.
Nice. Look at that.
One of the tickets in there, and I stumbled across this.
That's awesome.
Now, so we go over here, and I hope I'm panning right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's the outfit you asked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, behind that is something I never, ever, ever, ever dreamed I would have. That T-shirt is the T-shirt when he walked up to Mick's gym in Creed. Right. So when he's walking up the street and he looks up at the sign, he's got the white T-shirt on underneath his outfit.
That's it, brother.
I made it a point. I found the Oscar ad.
Oh, yeah.
So that shirt is that shirt. And Stallone wore it as Rocky Balboa. Now, do I wish it was between Rocky or Rocky 6, somewhere in that? Yes. But he still wore it as Rocky Balboa.
Sure.
Right. That's awesome.
Okay. And over here, again, I got another Oscar ad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I worked with that same place, and we put that together. So to me, that's like one of my greatest achievements in life.
They did an absolute amazing job on that. Seriously.
Yes.
They really, really did.
And
now,
it was reasonable.
Steve, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, if you had 30 seconds in an elevator with Stallone, what do you say to him in 30 seconds?
Mr. Stallone, your work has forged my life. And I really have one question for you. And that is, how did you come up with the speech to your son in Rocky Balboa? Because think about this. He's staring at a blank piece of paper. And all that dialogue and all those things he wrote out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? Because that changed my life. When I'm down, that speech picks me up. And one other thing, Mike, I would say to him, which is, again, really gets to me, is when people call Chuck Wepner the real Rocky and that kind of stuff. Okay, Chuck Wepner did a really awesome thing. He went the distance with Muhammad Ali, right?
Right.
Phenomenal. Nobody thought he was going to do anything. So Stallone saw that. But when you think about the characters he created,
right,
Mick, Adrian, the Pet Shop, Gazzo, yada yada yada, the dialogue, all that stuff. He wrote all.
He did that. Mm-hmm.
So, how can you say this guy who gave him the inspiration of somebody who went the distance when they weren't thinking they were supposed to? How can you say not give him credit for everything you watched in that movie? And the fight scenes had never been done like that. Ever.
That's true.
That was history breaking. Okay, he actually went with Carl Weathers to the gym, and they practiced.
They did. And do you know what else? Sly's trying to get out of the elevator at this point. He's calling on his cell phone. He's calling his agent. Steve, we got to go and finish our show. But listen, I want to thank you very, very much. Stacy, anything you want to say to Steve before we let him out of here?
Keep collecting and keep posting. I love seeing what you have on your Facebook page and on Instagram. It's so fun to see. And all of us Rocky nerds love it.
We do. We love it.
You know what? Honestly, that's the only reason I do it. Look, you guys, you will not find a video of me. Okay, you won't.
Well, then we're happy to have you.
You are the world exclusive of me.
There you go. People are gonna love it, my friend.
And honestly, all I ever want to do is help other people with things that, because I know so much that I actually can help them.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the Rocky spirit. That's all I want. All of this stuff you see is not for me to make money. All that stuff you see is for me to help everybody get things they may not have got. I actually have helped people to put things in their hands that they never dreamed they could because it was totally out of reach for them.
Right.
You know, and that's it. That's what I do.
Steve, that is something we both, Stacy and I, both relate to that. My friend, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be part of our podcast, and I look forward to seeing you on Facebook. Keep punching, my friend.
Keep punching.
Take care.
You guys are awesome. Love you.
Love you.
Love you back, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's a guy with a lot of stories. I'm telling you, he's got a great museum. I love seeing the banners and all the knickknacks from the small to the biggest. The guy really understands the Rocky spirit and what it means to help other people. So, Steve, thanks again, man. What did you take away from that, Steve?
No, he said it right. Well, he said at the beginning, you know, Rocky's family and how personal that was to him. That made me go, oh, that's it right there. And then here at the end, it's not about the money. It's not about, you know, it's just all of us crazy Rocky fans, you know,
that's
being
what
able
we
to
do.
Be crazy together. And, you know, you do. I mean, I love the little collection I have. And can you imagine some of the stuff that maybe someone just couldn't find. And then he was able to get it to them. That's sweet.
Beautiful.
That's great.
That's what this Rocky community is all about. And speaking about crazy Rocky fans getting together, we got something going on this weekend in Philly.
Yes.
What is happening this weekend here?
Yes, the Rocky Run. A lot of people are going to be there. You're going to be there, right?
I will be doing tours. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be over at Lloyd Hall early on Thursday morning. I think I have to come down and help. I drop some stuff off. I got tours, but I'm going to drop off some stuff that Rivoli had sent here to the house because he can't bring it all down there. His car only carries so much. So I'm going to go down and see him in the morning, probably have a coffee with him, and then go do a tour, and then swing by Friday and Saturday. Again, doing tours, but I am going to go by just to support them and check out everybody. And because it's pretty cool. Lloyd Hall, that's where they'll be selling all types of Rocky sweatpants and clothes. And John will be there signing his art, selling his art. And that's the biggest event of his year is this Rocky Run. It's huge. So we're really looking forward for that. And Sunday, Tulsa King. Are you kidding?
Tulsa King.
This is going to be something amazing because I've been hearing all these shows that they've been showing the first episode in movie theaters at private screenings, and it's been getting rave reviews. Rave.
Oh, good. I'm so happy.
Like these are people who have been cynics to Stallone, who don't think he can act. They really love him in this. So this is something I am just so excited. Are you excited?
I'm so happy for him. He's wanted this kind of role forever. You know what I mean? So I'm just so happy he gets to get that and dive into that. And he looks, you know, what the snippets I am seeing, he's in 110%. Oh my God.
Yes.
You
mentioned something to me the other day of a picture you thought he was very, very handsome in.
Yes.
You were having a hard time getting over it, I recall.
Yes, I was like, wow, he looks dynamite. And I said it. I think I said I love this picture because it captures his legacy. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Yet he's so far from over.
Far from over. Quoting Frankie Boy.
Yes.
And everybody seemed to really love Sue last week, which was great.
Oh my gosh, they did.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, you'll have to replay the live chat. I don't think she had the live chat on.
I will. I wanted to talk about this earlier in the opening, but I got carried away making it all about me. And so she had a really good time with it. She had some amazing answers, and I can't wait to see what some of the fans wrote. And I know I got a lot of great feedback personally from people on DMs. So. I was very proud of that. So just a great job with all of that, my friend.
She was awesome. Yeah. Thanks.
She was. Stacy, where can people find you?
I am at Had Me at Yo and at the Rocky Files. I have those two accounts on Instagram and then on Facebook at the Rocky Files podcast. And Michael, where can people find you?
Well, I wrote a little book called Cue the Rocky Music. There it is. It is a great stocking stuffer where books are sold, but specifically Amazon. Go get it. stick it in a stocking stuffer for the Rocky fan in your life. And you can find me at the Yo Philly Rocky Film Tour, where we do tours year round. And there's a little movie about my life called The Pretender, which is done by my good friend Jim Toscano and his incredible team out there in Detroit. Go rent it on Amazon Prime. Thank you. Stacy, I'm a bit out of breath. I'm a bit winded from this show today. So we'll talk shortly.
Yes.
But anyways, thank you, my friend, for just corralling another great show. Thank you for doing all the editing and all that you do. So, all right. Well, listen, it is time for me to go, and I will reconvene in 1 week with you, my friend.
All right. Sounds good. Keep punching.
Keep punching.